Star Wars Clone Wars Volume 1. Directed by Genndy Tartakovsky, this Emmy Award-winning series was produced by George Lucas himself, who partnered with Tartakovsky and Paul Rudish, the creative team behind Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack. Set between the events of episodes 2 and 3, the series aired in front of Cartoon Network's prime time lineup from 2013 to 2005. The first 20 episodes of the series were only 3 minutes long, making them essentially the fun-sized version of Star Wars. Tasty, but unsatisfying. Unless, of course, you have a whole bunch at once. Sure to know, the micro-series, as it was known, was highly successful with critics and fans alike, including Lucas's son, Jet, who wanted to know what happened to Ki-Adi-Mundi after the cliffhanger ending of episode 20. So George asked for another group of episodes, but insisted they be 12 minutes long so they could tell a deeper story. Speaking of which, our story begins with General Kenobi, masterfully voiced by James Arnold Taylor, who would later reprise his role for Dave Filoni's 2008 CGI Clone Wars series, which I will be reviewing at a later date. Good old Benji is leading an attack against the IG banking clans on the planet Newlist. We get a little commando action as a special unit of clones known as ARC Troopers take out a heavily guarded cannon. Genndy and his team researched military hand signals to make the troopers feel more authentic. Fun fact, George Lucas liked the ARC Troopers so much, he decided to add elements of their costume to the clone commanders in Revenge of the Sith, requiring Bob Coleman and his visual effects team to render several finish shots all over again. We cut over to a little Kit Fisto one-shot on the planet Mon Calamari, and I gotta say, after seeing Aquaman, I really wish I could see this underwater world on the big screen. Admittedly, there isn't much to this episode, and it doesn't really add to the overall story. It's useless, but cool. Kinda like Master Fisto, considering he went out like such a punk in Revenge of the Sith. The biggest highlight of the episode is when he pulls a Goku using a force bubble like a spirit bomb to defeat a separatist weapon. Meanwhile, back on planet Scrooge, Obi-Wan takes on Dirge, the armored bounty hunter with a soft nougaty center, and his army of IG battle droids, tying into Lucas's original backstory for the popular bounty hunter IG-88, that he was the last surviving battle droid from the Clone Wars. During his scuffle with the bounty hunter, Obi is devoured by Dirge, but erupts out of him from the inside with the Force, in a scene reminiscent of something out of Akira, one of George Lucas's favorite anime. Chapter 6 is where we start to get into the real meat of the series, as we are introduced to the now fan-favorite character, Asajj Ventress, voiced by Grey Griffin. According to Tartakovsky, her voice was inspired by Eartha Kitt's Catwoman. Ventress was originally designed as a Sith witch for the Phantom Menace, but they went with Darth Maul instead. She was almost used once again for episode 2, but unfortunately she was never seen in live action on the big screen. But good old George, being the lovable pack rat that he is, held on to the character concept, and she was later explored with none other than Lucas's own daughter Katie writing her story arc for the 2008 Clone Wars series. Back to the movie. Turns out Space Armand is looking for a private assassin, and after proving herself in battle, Count Dooku presents Ventress with the twin lightsabers of his former Padawan, a fallen Jedi, and former leader of the Bandogora cult, Kamari Vosa, from the 2002 LucasArts game Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Ah, the good old days, when Star Wars actually had continuity. While Kenobi is busy turning Dirge into Laffy Taffy, Dooku sends Ventress to kill me. Q-Ball shows up in her own custom fighter designed by Paul Rudish and draws me away from the space battle above Newlist, leading to our final conflict on the fourth moon of Yavin. The mood and atmosphere of this lightsaber duel is truly impressive, flying through the treetops in a life and death struggle until reaching the ancient Masase temples, once inhabited by Sith Lord Exar Kun. During our brief standoff, it begins to rain, and the imagery of rain sparking on lightsaber blades and turning to steam was a stroke of pure genius. The use of color during the climax of the duel not only invokes emotion, it has powerful symbolism. I have taken one of Ventress's twin red-bladed lightsabers after the loss of my own, and as I begin to release my anger to defeat her, we are both lit by the red planet of Yavin behind us, casting a crimson hue over the final moments of the conflict, to show I am slipping to the dark side. As I watched this scene again, it suddenly struck me, we got a more emotional, artistic, and symbolic lightsaber duel from the guys who made Dexter's Laboratory than we got in The Last Jedi, and that's just ridiculous. After I chucked Little Miss Baldy off a cliff, I returned to Muneless, where, wouldn't you know it, Obi-Wan is still mad at me, even though I won the battle. You wanna know why I killed Jaban? Because no matter what I did, it was never good enough. Volume 1 of the Clone Wars series ends on a cliffhanger as Ki-Adi-Mundi, Shakti, and Aayla Secura face off against a new threat to the galaxy, the mechanical, maniacal General Grievous, which we will discuss next week as I review Volume 2 of the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars series produced for Cartoon Network. Be sure to tune in for my final score and my thoughts on the series as a whole, and comment below. Let me know what was your favorite part of the Clone Wars. And to all of my faithful soldiers, the Empire thanks you for your service. With our combined strength, we will bring order to the galaxy. This has been Vader Reviews. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. And follow me on Twitter @VaderReviews. You do not yet realize your importance. Share these videos, and together we will rule the internet. And always remember, you don't know the power of the dark side.